I had to sleep in a car. I had no finances anyway. I had probably $20 in my account. I was like, मैं कहाँ आ गया? क्यों आ गया? Everybody is not going to be on your side, right? Whatever you do, whether you do something or not, people will be against you, right? You have to find your way out in your life. Hello everyone, my name is Shivam Garg. I am part of Acceleri in the HRM batch. My story starts from Delhi. I was born in Delhi and I lived there for about a year. My dad was in the banking sector, so he often had to change a lot of jobs. As a part of that, I lived in Mumbai, in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, in Pune as well. During that time, my parents decided that I should be going to a hostel because that too much friction could cause a problem in my journey and my academics. So I moved to a hostel in Ooty, which is a small hill station in Nilgiris. I was in a boarding school over there for about 7 years. I graduated from them summa cum laude. I was first in my class. Great achievements. I think AIR 10 or 11 in the country in ICSE board examinations. Post which I pursued my engineering degree in the University of Toronto in Canada. I got a partial scholarship over there as well. My mother funded the rest half or the rest 60% of my funding over there. COVID hit at that time and my academics suddenly took a hit. You know, from being a stellar 9.9 student in board examinations and 10th and 12th and having a good scholarship, my grades slowly started taking a downturn. I was losing my interest in acads partially because I had to make a living for myself and I didn't want to ask my parents for any further finances because it would take a toll on them. So 3 of my friends, the COVID hit, I could not return to India. So they said, chalo, US chalte hain, Los Angeles chalte hain. So 2 of them were from the US itself. And then me and another friend of mine, we were immigrants. I had no intentions of starting a business. In fact, they had pulled me into this entire realm. They dragged my collar and they're like, no, we want you as a tech person. And I was a second degree software engineer. I barely finished any of my courses. So I took a risk. I said, theek hai, dost hai, chalo. Right? So I went to Los Angeles and then things started really taking a toll. COVID had hit and I had no finances anyway. I had probably $20 in my account. I had no way to earn a medium. I could not return to Canada because the flights had stopped. I could not return to India where my family was. So I was in a deep turmoil. I did not know what to do. At that time also, the first 3 months of my time in Los Angeles were extremely difficult. I was like, मैं कहाँ आ गया? क्यों आ गया? I blamed my friends non-stop. I blamed my situation. I could go to Vancouver through road by the journey, but then I chose not to. I could go to Vancouver and take a flight back to Toronto and then start staying there. But the trade-off was very limited. There was no way to even earn an income over there. So I chose to stay in Los Angeles. I chose to stay in a very limited financial way that I could have. The first 3 months were extremely problematic in the sense my business was not taking off. I had to sleep in a car. I could not stay with anybody. I did not know anybody in an unknown country, in an unknown city. And I had a completely foreign aspect to the career that I was trying to build. I was a software engineer. I had no relation with business and neither did my family have any. Moving on from there, the third month, I remember I had maxed out all my credit cards. I was not a part of any of the things that could help me make a career ahead. I could not get a job because I did not have a work visa. I should have probably worked odd jobs, right? I should have probably seen how can I work, but I didn't want to do that. I found out a way to come to India, but again, I did not have the funds. I could not ask my parents for that funds, especially because they had sponsored a huge part of my education. So I took things on my own. I did a lot of networking events in Los Angeles for my business. Somehow I got very lucky and I met a couple of people from Bed Bath & Beyond and Walmart after probably about 6 months. I did a lot of farmers markets, so I had a nice car. A nice sedan. So I used to fit the stalls in, I used to fit the booth and I used to set up an entire stall in the farmers markets. So I had to arrange the products that I had and then people used to come and they used to see my products. So that's how I did my branding. It was very raw, very organic. And then I also built a website. So I was not part of sales. I did the tech part and the e-commerce part mostly. So I focused a lot on my SEO. Over 6 months period of time, we started having business. 6 months it took to finally grasp that point of break even. The real forte I had was that my product was gold. At that time in COVID, face masks, sanitizers, these things were very prominent in the industry. And nobody, even the biggest suppliers like Walmart and 3M Inc., they were not able to manufacture this much. I had a distant uncle in India, and one of my partners had a good friend in Vietnam who could source and procure material from Southeast Asia and provide them and supply them in the Long Beach port of California. So we used to import that. Somehow we made revenue, somehow we were to pay salaries, and I could not even pay. There was a point in my life that I could not pay entire salaries to my employees. So I used to hire interns from colleges, and I was myself like a second, third year student trying to make a business, right? So it was like they're my age, and I could see them being along with me. So that time, then after 6 months, we started having business. I had really strained relations with my mother, because she had said, "Tu kya kar raha hai beta? Ghar pe aaja, go back to your college, you'll find a way there." I did not listen to her. And for about 2 years approximately, we were on very distant terms. It was like I had a completely different life than what she did. I did not know what she was doing, how she was. I used to call her maybe once a month. So those were strained relations and very hard period of my life. When I had maxed out my credit cards, maxed out my ways of living, I did not know what to do ahead. So, and I could not have even asked for a loan because I had no presence in the US. I was very fortunate to have had a successful business. Towards about a year and a half, I ended up selling my stake, and then I returned to India. I worked. The one thing that was really lacking in my life was respect. मैंने खूब कमाया, and at the end of a year and a half, I did good for myself. I had a car, I had a proper home for myself. I did not have any respect that I could get from my family because of the strained relations. Right, so I came back to India. I took up a job as a software engineer after officially graduating from University of Toronto, because 2 years it was mostly online, so I did that. I got promoted as a senior software engineer in the 1 year's time, and then मुझे वो job पसंद नहीं आया, so I told Papa कि Papa, firstly I tried being a corporate professional. I tried being in the entire industry, but मुझे जम नहीं रहा है. Then I said, Papa, मुझे business करना है वापस. वो मुझे चस्का लगा हुआ था दोबारा. So then I was like, यार बिज़नेस करने के लिए मुझे वही 3 पागल दोस्त चाहिए जो मुझे अपने मिले थे अपने ग्रेजुएशन में. Then I talked to Dad about this, and he said, ठीक है बेटा MBA कर ले. So then I gave GMAT, and then I landed up here at XLRI. At XLRI, the rigor is extremely difficult. It's very hard to go through the everyday days. But one thing I've learned in my journey is to be tough in my life. It's not easy. Life is not going to be fair to you. Life is not going to be easy to you. Everybody is going to have their own challenges. Everybody is going to have their own struggles. Everybody is going to spit at you. Everybody is not going to be on your side, right? Whatever you do, whether you do something or not, people will be against you, right? You have to find your way out in your life. You have to get up after you've fallen. You are your biggest asset, and you have to capitalize on that. To be honest, the only plan of action I have is I need to find these 3 friends, the 3 friends that can help me go above. I have learned that I cannot do it all by myself. I need a team. I cannot be the head of a company, and I cannot just do everything that I want. I need a strong support system like I've learned at XLRI. When your professors will not be with you, when your college will not be with you, and maybe even everybody who's in your class will not be with you. But there'll be 3 odd people that'll be standing with you till the end of your life, and who will be with you like, मैं आ रहा हूँ तेरे पास, चाहे जिधर से भी मैं आ रहा हूँ. And that is what I want to find in XLRI, that team, that base where I can count on and depend on. Once I establish that trust, rest is cake. What my CV can tell you is only the achievements, right? What it does not tell you is a story. You might see very fancy things on my CV. Basically, it tells you nothing about me. It does not tell you the struggles I went through. It tells you a glimpse. If I mention the problems I had in my life, there'll probably be a 10-page of this thing on my CV, but apparently we don't put those things. If I know the struggles of people, and if I feel how they have battled them through him, I can make a better judgment of how a person would be in their life. Again, how hard you've been kicked, and then how faster you rise up. That is, I think, the most treasured trait that I see in an individual if I want to start a business in the future. When I had entered the campus, I was like, I'm going to be in a class of 60 people, and these 60 people are going to be those 3 people. So I equated the 3 to the 60. I thought these 60 will be my base. But it turns out it was not like that for me. My class will have all different types of personalities which I had experienced in US and Canada as well. So I should not have assumed that everybody is going to be on my side. Everybody over here is very smart, very capable, very ambitious in their own journeys, right? The realization or the introspection that I had was you should not never at any cost break any relation with any person. तुम पता नहीं कब कौन कहाँ काम आ जाए, right? So even today as I'm standing here, it was probably through friendships or whatever reason I'm here today. So never break. Everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Never break friendships. Invest in your time here. Invest in every person, every single moment that you're here. You know, I always tell my friends that मैंने तुझे मिलने के लिए मैंने 10,000 रुपये दिए Accelerate को. So I equate that in terms of money, that I have paid 10,000 rupees to meet you. I don't equate in terms of the college. I don't equate in terms of experience of my hostel fees or whatever. I equate that in terms of the number of people I've met and the number of established connections that I've been able to make here. That's how I equate my investment. And that investment, whatever I've made, I want that to result in something much bigger in the long term. It is not the placements. It is not, couple of GDs that can get me. It is that you and I today are in the same class. Maybe after 20 years, we might do $1 billion deals. That is the trust that I want to establish when I'm here at Accelerate.